Tyler. Oh, yeah! Welcome to another Modified Experience build series. We're going to go over some of the list of what needs to be done this winter and what's the next steps for the car. Welcome to my new office. I know it ain't pretty. The walls aren't done. And I literally just made this space so I can just get some more work done and have time to write and edit videos and all that good stuff. So this is where background work gets done right here. So I figured I'd just use the space today and come up here and take a video and get this going on the next step on what needs to be done this winter. There's quite a list of things that I need to get done on that Rx8. I'll be planning on getting it ready for the 2025 season. Looking to do open track days, and I need to get the car as reliable as you can make it, and just get it started, get it ready for some upgrades. So let's go over some stuff of what I have to do. Starting off, I'm going to do replace the motor and the transmission. If you guys have been following along, you've noticed that the motor's got low compression and the clutch is just slipping pretty bad, and the transmission is starting to grind gears now. Shifting in a second. The car's got like 11, 12, whatever thousand miles on it. So it's all the stock stuff on it. So she's running rough. For you guys who know rotary motors, or at least especially the Renesis ones, man, they're no good for past 100,000 miles. So generally, I mean, there's stories where people have had 160,000 or whatever on their stock motor, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that it's going to need to be replaced. There's an apex seal here, here, and here on the triangle, and those seals will start to go bad, and it also wears out the inside of the block where that spins, so then you're losing compression, and there's just not enough power available anymore in the motor. So eventually it'll get to the point to where it just won't work. Just side effects on having low compression on a rotary motor. So if you just drive the car somewhere and for 20 minutes and you get it warmed up and you go to turn it off, the car won't start again for like 30 minutes at least. It's not great. It really isn't. You take that car anywhere, man, and you have to, like, you can drive it. It drives fine. It starts cold fine. And then when you get to the place, you have to stay there for like 30 to 45 minutes. So if you're going to like a car show, you can't just like go somewhere, stop, and then get out and talk for a minute and then leave again. You gotta stop and be like, okay, we're staying here for like 45 minutes because my car won't run. So and don't even get me started if you stall the car. And if you're at like a drizzle or something, and then just because of traffic or a hill or something, and you go to take off and it stalls on accident, you're screwed because you're stuck there now for 30 minutes. I mean, you're sitting there panicking, trying to get the car started. It might start, but there's a good chance it ain't gonna. So I always keep a jump box in the car now and everything, just in case something like that happens, so I can sit there and crank it until it goes. But I am looking forward to having that fixed and having some power. So I did print out the procedure here for the motor, so I can brief over it. I think it may be a lot harder than just a regular motor, like an inline 4 or whatever, to pull out. But it's honestly, looking over the procedure, it's pretty similar, and it's really not that bad. The procedure wants you to pull the motor, which, if you have a hoist, is great. They want you to drop the cradle and the suspension down and then lift the car up above the motor and the trans. You leave that all connected, and then you disconnect the drive shaft, the exhaust, blah, 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 the lines and whatever. And then you raise the car up off the motor. But since I don't have a hoist here, the cherry picker and remove the motor through the top. So this procedure won't be exactly what I'll be doing, but it'll give you a good rundown. So basically want you to remove the front suspension tower bar, the battery cover, air cleaner box, the PCM, the air pump. It says drain the coolant, and it says disconnect your vacuum, and want you to disconnect all your fuel lines and such, whatever. You have to remove the coil, and then you remove the belts. I want you to remove the AC compressor, but with the motor that I got, the compressor's sitting on there, and they just cut the lines. So I should be able to just disconnect those lines and move them out of the way. And then leave the compressor on the motor. I'd rather not mess with that. And then it says here to disconnect you got to disconnect the wire harness. And then after that, that's all the top side stuff. And I want you to go under the car and remove the ABS sensors, like whatever, and then like some hoses for the radiators. And we have a manual transmission, not an automatic. So it says we need to remove all the clutch lever components on top of the transmission so you can get the motor out. And then remove the shifter, whatever. And then then it says you can just basically, after you disconnect like the cradle bolts and all that stuff, it says you could just drop it and it comes out with the cradle and the brakes are the wheel hubs, the knuckles and that crap is all attached to it. But we're not going to do all that. So my plan is just to see about taking the motor mounts off. Leave if I can leave the motor mounts on the cradle, I will. So I'd like to leave the motor mounts on the cradle, and then if I can get in there and pull the bolts off, and then disconnect all my hoses and whatever wires and stuff. And then usually if there's usually a screw hole or something in the block, like just a threaded hole where you can put some bolts in to hook up a chain or something. You pick that thing up out of there, but oh no, I mean I really don't think it should be too bad. It's a fairly small motor. The transmission honestly is quite a bit bigger than the motor, and if there was no attachments on the motor, like the intake and all that, it'd be a breeze. So whatever, we'll see how it goes, and I don't think it'll be that bad, really. I mean, it may be annoying as anything ever is, but it should be okay. We'll get it figured out. Anyways, let's move on now. So list here. I have some caliper paint. You got to make the car look good, right? I mean, yes, it's still a race car, but it's good to have it look nice and get some attention while you're driving, or if you go to a show or whatever. It's just good to have it looking nice. And who doesn't like a nice looking car? I do, at least. I'm going to change all the fluids. Transmission, I'm going to drain that. I'm going to change the diff fluid. I'm going to change the coolant. I'm going to change the brake fluid, and obviously change the oil. I'm going to remove some more interior. I'd like to remove the carpet, the center console, and some other unnecessary trim, just to try to lighten it up a little bit, make it a little bit more race car, And then there is currently no lights inside the car. So if you're driving at night, you can't see anything inside the car, no matter what you do. So you're sitting there with your phone and your flashlight trying to look around for stuff. So I'm going to try to wire in some lights there. And then I am going to probably do some cool LED lights too for some other stuff, and then clean up the interior, do some painting on some parts that are exposed and whatever. But it'll look pretty cool. We'll see. I'll try to make it look as nice as I can. We'll have a bunch of like lights that are not working right on the outside of the car for whatever reason. So tail lights, it's like half of them work. The license plate lights, who knows if those don't work. I don't know what the problem is there, but I got to figure all that out. And there's some other. Basically, I just need to get a bunch of repairs done. I mean, once everything is working decent, I'll eventually focus on doing some upgrades and stuff, but that'll be for a future video. We're gonna wait and see and make sure this thing is running good before I even talk about trying to do upgrades first, because you know how that goes. You start taking stuff apart and doing all that and replacing motors, who knows what's going to happen after that. I'll probably have to buy some other dumb stuff for it, so we'll see. I just want to get it ready for some track days and just get it prepped for some modifications and some other cool stuff that I can add to the car. So next few build series videos that you'll see are going to be more focused on putting the new motor in the car, doing the repairs, all that we talked about earlier, and also just getting the car ready for some track days next year and getting it prepped to run reliable and hopefully put some upgrades on it. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a great time. Hit that subscribe button and keep watching Cruis'n Media and see what it takes to keep a rotary running. We'll see you next time.